Hello, everyone. My name is Mirna, and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather daily to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today, with us, we have the great pleasure of having Michele Snelling. She is an intuitive medium, and she is an emotional, physical, spiritual healer and certified coach. Michele is the founder of a line of intuitive wellness products. But before starting with Michele, we want to remind you that Mindalia is a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness around the world. You can help us by subscribing to our channel, leaving us a positive comment down this video, or sharing it with someone that you know that is going to benefit of the content that we're going to be talking here today. Also, while live streaming, we have the active chat. It's a screen that you're going to be seeing here on my side or under the video in case that you're following us from a smartphone. Through there, you can interact with us and ask your questions. We also want you to know that you can collaborate with Mindalia, and for that, you can go to our website. On the top, you find a link, says collaborate with Mindalia, and that link takes you to a form that you can fill out for our technical team to be able to get in contact with you. You can collaborate with Mindalia in English through Mindalia TV English, but you can also do it in Spanish through Mindalia Televisión and Portuguese through Mindalia Televisao. We want you to please visit our different channels and platforms and subscribe. Visit our Facebook pages and Instagram accounts. And with that, you are not only keeping yourself updated with the amazing information that we share there on a daily basis, but you are also helping us reach as much people in the planet as possible and helping us accomplish our mission, which is just to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness in this wonderful planet. I'm not delaying this any further, and I have now the great pleasure of saying, Michele, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. How are you?
I am well, Myrna. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited.
Yes, me too. I'm super excited. You have been with us before, and you are basically like a well of knowledge. And
Oh,
today, we wanted to invite you to talk about something that everybody in these days, or almost everybody, have heard of what chakras are. But there
mhm.
are a lot of misconceptions and a lot of obscurities about it. So we wanted to know a little bit more, and you are an expert on the field. So let's start by asking you, what are they? What are the chakras? When someone says align your chakras, what do they mean?
Well, chakras are basically energy centers that we all have that are in our physical and our auric or our etheric body. So, like our etheric body is the part of us that extends out from our physical body. It's about arm's length out all the way around. Okay. So, we've got hundreds of chakras. And basically, chakra means wheel, that it's Sanskrit for wheel. Okay. So, when you're thinking about a chakra, you want it, what it wants to do is it wants to spin like a wheel, okay? And it wants to be balanced, right? So, and the thing that's important about a chakra to know is that when a chakra is spinning and moving, it's where matter meets consciousness. And this is very important because matter is the part of us that's human, right? That's what it means to be human and how we experience our humanness. And our consciousness is our higher self, that spiritual part of us. So when a chakra is open and aligned, it's where those two meet and, all the wonderful things happen, right? We have many, many chakras. Like I said, there's hundreds of them, but we really focus on seven main chakras. And they go all the way from our tailbone to the top of our head. Okay. So, and they coincide with different aspects of us. So, I can talk about this forever, Myrna. So, let me know if I'm on the right track or if you need me to,
Yes,
diverge.
yes, you are definitely in the right track. And when you
Okay.
say we all have it, you mean we all have it, every human. How about animals? Do they have chakras as well? And how come
Yeah.
we don't see them? Why don't we see the chakras? And why are we so unaware of their existence?
Well, I believe that we're unaware of them because they're not in our field of vision, right? We don't see them because they're energy. There's a lot of energetic things that we don't see that we just assume work, like a remote control with a TV. You know, back in the day, before there were remote controls, if somebody would have told people then, when you had to get up and go turn the channel on the TV, that one day there will be something you hold in your hand and you'll be able to change a channel from that, they wouldn't have believed it, right? But now we have it. It's just commonplace. We just take it for granted. It's there. You know,
We
we
don't
are all,
even think about turning the TV with the power button. Like the
no,
power button is there and you don't even think about turning it on.
no. Well, and our TVs nowadays don't have any way to manually set the channel, or, you know, it's all done through this modality.
Luckily back then there were only like 2 or 3 channels, so you didn't have
Exactly.
to work much on it.
Exactly. It was easy. But, you know, we just take it for granted now. But the same thing, you know, everything is energy. We're all energy. Us as people, you know, the chair you're sitting in, the desk I'm using, it's all energy, just in different forms. And once we start understanding that and accepting that as truth, which, you know, science is doing a lot of research now and proving a lot of this for us, which is wonderful. But once we accept that, then we can start really noticing. But even though we don't see chakras, we all are aware of them if we're paying attention. Because when we have issues in different parts of our bodies, like, you know, if I've got a sore throat or I lose my voice, it's probably an indication of my throat chakra having an issue. Okay, so let's talk about where the chakras are for a minute,
Okay.
and so that'll give some basis to how we can know what's going on physically, how that's an indication of the energetic. So as I said, they go from our tailbone all the way up to the crown of our head. So at our tailbone, from our tailbone down to our feet, that's called the root chakra. And literally it's like what grounds us, right? What centers us with the earth. And this is all about all of the things that make us feel safe in the world. Our sense of home, our money, you know, how secure we feel in ourselves and in life, all of those things. The color red is associated with this, okay? And this is a low, it's the lowest chakra. So it vibrates really low and slow. So that wheel moves really slow, okay? But when you've got, when this chakra is balanced, we feel really good about ourselves. We feel very clear about who we are and what our purpose is in the world. And we feel safe and secure in expressing that. And we have really healthy relationship with money. Okay. And this is the chakra that's formed the earliest in our lives. It's like 0 to 6 months. So very early. Then we move up from there, and the whole pelvic area is called the Sacral Chakra. And this is all about, you know, our joy and our creativity and our sensualness and all of our relationships, right? This is where all of our sex organs are, and so many things about, you know, being our authentic self, right? And this is connected with the color orange. So lots of like kidney issues, stomach issues, digestion, things like that can begin there. Any infertility issues, right? Creative blocks, things like that. That's where this chakra comes into play. So it's balanced when we are in a creative flow, when our relationships are flowing, when we're joyful. Okay.
That's the orange one?
Yes.
Okay.
And the really wonderful thing about the chakras is it's really easy to remember the colors going from the bottom to the top, because it's like a rainbow. Roy G. Biv: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Okay, so, you know, the universe makes it easy for us. So the next one is our solar plexus. And this is kind of, sometimes I call this the core chakra, because we know the core. We talk about the core all the time with exercise and things like that, right? So this is right above our belly button and right below our breastbone. And this is yellow. And this is all about our personal power, okay? And all about our sense of confidence within ourselves and our ability to make decisions, okay? Then the next one up is the heart. That is the whole chest area. and the arms and hands. This is green, and this one is, of course, all about love. Okay, so our ability to give ourself love, to give love to the world, to receive love. This is where we deal with a lot of those heavy emotions like grief and guilt and, regret, things like that. The next one is the throat chakra. And this is all about communication, right? All about communication with ourself first and foremost, and then the outside world after that. So this is where we know what belief systems we've incorporated, and if those are still true for us, if they're still in our highest good, or if they need to be let go, where we really figure out as adults and children as well, how we want to live, what life is going to bring us joy. The next one is our third eye, or our brow chakra. This is all about intuition and us being in that part of ourselves that knows, it's connected to our highest self, that knows what's for us, for our best in that moment, and will guide us to, where we want to go. This is also where we might, have dreams of, of things that, foretelling dreams or something like that. And then the last one is our crown chakra, and this goes from the top of our head up. And there's several chakras above that, but that, we just get confused, or not confused, but when we're first learning, I think it's important just to concentrate on the 7 main chakras. So the crown chakra is all about our connection to the spiritual realm, okay, to our highest self in the spiritual realm. And the way that the chakras work, they all work together. They're like a beautiful team. And so we can't really be connected to our highest self or the spiritual realm without being grounded, without our root chakra being grounded, okay? And vice versa. We can't really be grounded without being connected to our highest self.
Wow.
Okay, so they all work together. The one thing that I want to mention is the heart is like the bridge, okay? So the lower 3 chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, are all chakras of matter, or about being human. So these are all the parts of us that are dealing with what it means to be human, the money, the confidence, the power, the sex, all of that. The upper chakras are all about the spiritual self, right? So the third eye and the crown, the spiritual self, the spiritual part of us. And so the goal is to really marry all the parts so that they are flowing and, balanced and we're healthy. One thing that I didn't mention about the other chakras is I mentioned it with the root, very slow, very low. It's like a cello if we're talking about instruments, right? It's low, it's slow. And then they get higher and they rotate faster, they spin faster as they move, so that up at the crown, it's like a flute, and very high. That's why it's really easy for us to get stuck in those lower 3 chakras and get really dense there, because they move slow. So it's easy to get stuck there, right? But we need them flowing and moving to be healthy.
That's beautiful. And this is the first time I hear that analogy about the instruments. I knew that they had their own vibrational frequency, but definitely the way that you have explained this is like 101.
That's great.
I love it. It looks like if you are properly aligned, basically you are a superhuman.
Absolutely. And, I think that that's our goal, right? Is to be properly aligned. But, we're human. And because we're human, I believe that we're born spiritual beings here to learn how to have a human experience, right? We kind of think the opposite. We think that we're human here to learn how to have a spiritual experience, right? But I believe we're spiritual beings first and foremost, and we're here to learn how to navigate this thing called life, which is not easy. And a lot of it goes against our spiritual inclination or how we feel we would like it to go. And so it's just really about us remembering that, this is a process and we're here to learn, and that we are going to have issues, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to learn how to manage those issues and how to, find our spiritual self in the midst of these human issues. And, so to me, it's like, it's just a process. We work on one and we get it flowing, and then we might see an issue from another one pop up, right? Or it's just as we grow and as we experience, it's different. So we just need to be aware of it and what's going on, and then address that.
Wow. What makes a chakra to be blocked? Because I've heard that they can be blocked, or they can be stuck or stagnant or not working properly.
Mhm.
Ca- Are we responsible for the state or for the proper maintenance? Is there something we can do to keep them attuned?
Yes. So I do believe we are responsible. And what I mean by that is, um, whenever I do an intuitive reading with people, because I work one-on-one with people, and whenever I do that, I start with a scan of the chakras, because I believe that we hold everything there. Things that have happened to us in the past, things are going through right now. So it gives me a really good baseline.
They have like
And
a memory. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting you. Is there they carry information within them?
yes. And so oftentimes, because of the way that I work, I want to get to the root of what's going on with people, right? It's no band-aids. We want to really get in there, and because we're all ready to change. Like most of us, we want to do what we can and see results. So if something happened to us as a child, right, that affected us, that's going to be in that chakra. So if we had abuse, let's say, if there was some physical abuse, that's going to be held in our sacral chakra, because that's that area of relationship and sexuality. And so if we haven't dealt with it fully, that can still have remnants that will keep that chakra maybe not blocked, but sludgy and heavy and not free flowing, so that it's just kind of clunky, right? If there's something with our life that we don't feel safe with, like if we don't understand that our security is within us, not within the things outside of us, like our job, our family, our relationships, things like that. If we don't understand that our safety and security is held within us, then we might have issues with that root chakra. Okay, so there might be some like bowel issues, or issues with our hips, or our legs, our knees,
Sciatica, right?
sciatica. Yes. Right. So like I said, our throat issue. If we have something going on with our throat, literally like a sore throat, or we've lost our voice, we might feel like we can't speak, or that we're not being heard, right? So it doesn't, every single time that we have something physical come up, it doesn't mean that it's our fault or that we've done something, but it doesn't hurt to just maybe look and say. So if I notice something going on with, let's say, my right foot, okay, the right side of our body indicates the future, the left is the past. Okay, so if I have something going on with my right foot, I might ask myself, like, where am I afraid to walk? Where am I afraid to go? What am I being asked to, where am I being asked to move forward that I'm not willing, or that scares me, right? And maybe I can get some indication there. So it's really just all about being willing to kind of look at it and see what's going on, right?
In your experience, Michelle, because for example, when we have like a communication issue, our
Mhm.
throat chakra it's not attuned, it's stagnant or muddy, I've heard it. Is it something that we are not saying because of our own mental blockages, or we are not being allowed to say? Like in your experience, when you see people that come to you, that come for your help, um, us as adults, because it's not children is a different story, but us as adults, is it something that we're doing to ourselves by holding on to past programs, to say it in a way, and it's in our hands to get rid of whatever is happening, or is the problem outside?
Um, I always believe that the problem is, when it's like a communication thing, it always begins with us. And that's why I always say that this is about communication with ourselves first and foremost, because before we even open our mouth, people have made a determination about us based on our energy. They're already sensing our energy and reading our energy and making a determination. Then so that's one thing, right? Which is all about our energy centers. Then when we speak, depending on the energy that we're speaking with, that's what people respond to. They don't really hear the words. They hear what they say, they hear the power behind it or the intention behind it. So if we're not like very, grounded,
Coherent.
if we're not what?
Coherent.
Yes. And if we don't mean it, if there's not power behind it,
Okay.
they respond to that wishy-washiness, right? So they're like, oh, she doesn't really mean that. I don't really need to pay attention.
Wow.
So we don't feel heard. And as you know, I think that this is a really easy thing to know as parents. If we're parents, when we ask our kids to do something and we're just like, yeah, whatever, they respond to that and they don't do it. But they know when we mean business. They know, they can hear it in our voice, right? They can see it in our face. Like, I'm not kidding. Let's get this done. And they do it.
Yes, I agree with you. And it's super funny because I've noticed it even, with my daughter, I know she knows.
Mhm. Yes.
But even with my dog, she
Yes.
knows.
Yes.
And I've always asked that myself, like, how does she know that I'm awake if I haven't even opened my eyes? I can
Mm-hmm.
be laying in the exact same position and I'm
Yep.
still with my eyes closed, and she comes to the room because she
Yep.
definitely feels and she knows I'm awake.
You
Or
know,
when
you're
I'm
ready
about
to figure out.
on when I'm gonna give her food. If I have something, some leftover or whatever, and I can say no, the same word, no, but she knows when I
Yeah,
am thinking like, oh, maybe I should give her this tiny
exactly.
piece of chicken. Like
Exactly.
they are more connected to that field. They pay more attention than us humans.
They're very connected to the energetic field. They don't need the words. I mean, they just know, they're very empathic. And, so it's very important when I think that most people, especially women, have an issue with the throat chakra because communication is a very big challenge for us. And we've been told we don't have a voice or, that our words don't matter. And so that's a belief system that we've incorporated, right? So it's up to us to let go of that, not to like say today I'm this way, tomorrow I won't be. It's a work in progress, right? But it's just practicing. And when I work with people, that's one of the things that I say, we've got to get really clear. Like we've got to draw that boundary, because oftentimes when we're making statements, we're really asking questions. So are you okay with this? We're saying what we want them to do, but the energy is, are you okay with this? Or is this all right if I ask you to do this?
Wow.
And most of the time we don't want it to be in the form of a question. We want it to be a statement. This is what I want.
And that is completely energetic, right? There is
Yes.
no
Yes.
line to the energy
No.
field.
No.
And it's funny because we actually get involved, or we get engaged, or be the proper word, in the drama of the words. And here you have, entire relationships based on like
Exactly.
a very thin linen of words, and everybody knows at the bottom that they're not meaning what they're saying.
No. And this is why, oftentimes, going back to the responsibility of our chakras and the state of them, that's one of the things that I have found in my own experience and with working with clients, is that oftentimes the best way to create a healthy relationship or to smooth over conflicts in a relationship is to bring the focus back on you and to clean your stuff up, right? Because it's not, it does take two, but if you're taking responsibility for your energy and what you're doing, it usually helps a lot. It really fixes a lot of things or smooths a lot of things, or, brings balance and harmony and peace to the relationship. And communication is such a challenge, and especially in this day of electronics where we're texting more and more and more. We take
Definitely.
the emotion out of it, right? And the energy, because it's just there in black and white, and we don't have the opportunity to, although let me rephrase that, because I do believe that if our intention is clear, it can even come through in a text message, but we're often not clear. It's very muddy. And so it's received muddy, and then there's issues.
And it, and we go back to starting, within yourself, because how can you leave someone else a clear message if you don't even know what you want, if
Exactly.
you are not even in agreement with yourself about
Yeah.
exactly what you want? Because we can be, especially women, when we've been taught to suppress so many things, you
Yeah.
can be thinking something and your heart can be knowing something, and the rest of the parts of your body can be wanting something else.
Yes.
But your mind and the program and whatever you've been taught says you are supposed to say no,
Yeah.
or you are supposed to say yes. So definitely, I completely agree with you. Going back to communication with yourself.
Yes.
Michelle, is
Yes.
there anything that we can do besides, our own behavior and that one day at a time correction
Yeah.
in the way we live our lives? Is there something, let's not say a ritual, but we're humans and we love rituals because it's fun.
Yeah.
Is there something we can do to, to keep in balance the very physical part of the chakras?
Yes. And I want to speak to the ritual, because maybe we don't want to call it a ritual, but it's self-care at the most base level of self-care that we need, because
And
this
it
is
feels fun and it feels nice.
it
It's like
does feel fun.
playing.
It is playing. So, there's several things that I love to do. Each of the chakras corresponds with an element. So like the root chakra is earth, the sacral is water, the solar plexus is fire, the heart is air, the throat is ether, the third eye is light, and the crown is all of the elements combined. Okay, so when you think about that, if you want to ground, get outside, get in nature, right? If you need to do something with your emotions, because that's what this sacral chakra is all about, is emotions. Do something with water. So that's how that's a way to quickly address, like, if you know that there's one chakra out of sorts. But if we want to just balance overall, several things I love to do. I love to just quiet myself, close my eyes, take some deep breaths, and then just notice that area. I don't have to visualize anything. I don't have to, be noticing anything. I just want to bring my focus to each one of those areas and just hold the intention to release whatever block there is, to get the wheel moving, to get it flowing and vibrating in the way that it wants to. I love to do chanting. Chanting is a wonderful way to move the energy. Movement.
Is
Oh, go
there
ahead.
a, I'm sorry, is there an actual vibration that we can see when we use our voice? Is there
Yes,
like an
yes,
actual effect on the physical?
yes. So each chakra, and I don't have all of them right here with me to speak to, but I know that, like, there's sounds. So like one chakra is lam, one chakra is om. So you can repeat that. The music, again, if I need to work on these lower chakras, and honestly, a lot of us need to work on these lower chakras and the throat chakra, because we get stuck in the human stuff. So just turning on low, like that cello or the violin or, viola music, will really help get things moving, right? If we want to be up in here, then those higher notes, that kind of music would be great. I love Kundalini yoga, because our energy stays coiled like a snake at the base of our spine. Okay, that's
Okay.
what Kundalini means. And so when we do Kundalini yoga, which is a lot of chanting and movement and breath, which is perfect, it wakes it up. It's like a snake, like a serpent, uh, goes from coiled up through all the chakras up our spine, and it moves the energy, so we automatically feel better, and it cleans and clears the chakras for us, which is a wonderful thing. I love sage. Sage helps clean and clear. Clean salt is an ionizer. When we take on positive ions, that makes us feel really heavy and like yucky. And negative ions come in and attach to those and pull those out. So you need clean, complete salt to do that. But that's one of the wonderful ways to clean our chakras. I love to take baths or foot soaks in the salt. Journaling. Journaling is a wonderful way to help us to see things that maybe we haven't seen, things that might be stuck in the chakras and keeping them sludgy and muddy.
Once we let that out physically, if we are able to actually express a thought or an emotion that we had um, within us, there is actually, you see results in the state of the chakra itself.
Absolutely. Yes. Because it's about awareness, really. If we're not aware at the basis of this, we're not aware. We don't know what we don't know, basically. So if we're journaling and something comes out, like if we get an aha about a situation we're in, or about something that happened, previously in our life, and we get an aha, that's awareness. And then we can take that and go, what do I want to do with this now? Like, how can I take this moving forward? Or how can I change this? Or, oh, I see this pattern, right? That's really what a lot of this muddy stuff is about, is patterns.
The thing about wearing colors or being surrounded by certain colors, is that also something that could help people to, be more balanced?
Yes. So when we talk about the chakras, like I said, it's the colors of the rainbow. So when you're talking about red, the root chakra in red, eat red foods, red peppers, wear red, surround yourself in red. Crystals like a carnelian I love to use, or I'm sorry, red jasper. Red jasper is what I use for my root chakra. So then when we're talking about the sacral chakra, it's orange. So orange foods, oranges, tangerines, orange peppers, wear orange, and then that's carnelian. Crystals have a beautiful ability to get energy moving. The solar plexus is yellow. And so yellow foods, yellow clothes, and that one I love, citrine or tiger's eye. Okay. The heart is green. Oops, are you there? Yes. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
The heart is green with, sometimes you see little pink flecks in it. So, green foods, kale, deep green lettuces, bell peppers, things like that. And I really love malachite for the heart chakra. It's one of my favorite crystals for that. The throat is blue, right? So that is all about blue foods, blueberries, kelp and blue clothes surround, if I'm doing it, if I have an office that I'm really concerned about communication, I'm going to paint the walls blue. Okay.
Nice.
So if there's something important with that. And then that is Amazonite. I love Amazonite for the throat chakra. For the third eye, this one is all about indigo. So those deep purple, like, eggplant and blackberries and purple kale and, deep indigo purple. Surround yourself in those. And then amethyst works really well for our third eye. And then for the crown, this is like violet or white, right? So we want, this chakra is not concerned with physical food at all. It only wants spiritual food. Okay. So that's what you want to be really focused on. And then clear quartz is a wonderful crystal for that.
Wow. This is a great class. Michele, can we, let me see if I know how to formulate this question.
Perfect.
What starts first? Do we first get energetically disaligned and then you see it in the physical body, or is it vice versa?
I believe, and my experience has been, that we get energetically misaligned. Because, as I said, I believe we're spiritual beings first and foremost. That's how we're born. So we're energetic beings first and foremost, here inhabiting this physical body, trying to figure it out, right? So I believe, and my experience has been, that it begins in in those energetic centers. And when we address those, it really helps. And, part of the things, like, there's a lot of different ways, like I said, there's sage and salt and essential oils and crystals. And so I just kind of look at what I'm dealing with in the moment. So if I'm feeling scattered, like if I can't make a decision, or I feel like I'm trying to multitask too much, which really is not productive at all, right? We've come to think it is, but it isn't. Yeah,
Guilty.
I know, me as well. But if I find myself doing that, like if I'm working on something and my mind keeps going somewhere else into different places, I know that's my fire. That's my solar plexus that's out of balance, that's trying to take me all over the place, because fire wants to move. Fire wants to move and grow. So then I need to do something to, bring that balance to that. So I have some things that I use all the time that just ground me and balance that so that I can finish this and then move to this.
Can we like overstimulate one of our chakras and have them working too much?
Absolutely. That's where we find like addictions, right? So like a workaholic, the fire is overstimulated, that solar plexus. A sexaholic, right? The sacral chakra is too much. They can be too low and they can be too big. We want the balance where they're just perfect.
Wow. And you do this, actually, you work consulting people and helping them put
Right.
all that together, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
How did you ended up doing that so wonderfully? And the I'm super happy that I get to be alive in this time, because
Yes.
I love how we are opening, to, we call it new, but it's older than time.
Absolutely.
Have you seen, let's say in the last 10 years, have you seen people more open to hear about that and to actually try and find solutions through this holistic path than before?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that I agree with you 100%. I'm so excited to be alive now, because like all the doors are open and it's limitless what we can, learn, and how we can grow, and how we can help ourselves with these issues that we have. And people are absolutely more open. And I think that when we talk about the chakras and we put these things, these tangible ideas with them, or these tangible things with them, like when I talk about the root chakra and I say that the earth element is tied to that, that makes perfect sense to me, because I know what a tree is, right? I understand that whole system of roots. And I know what it feels like when I walk barefoot in the grass or on the beach, right? I feel that. So that makes sense. So when we can bring some tangible ideas, then I think it starts making sense. And then people are more willing to at least entertain the idea, right? Maybe not embrace it, but at least start playing with it.
Yes, it will come a time in which we hear it so much and so much, and we start seeing, well, my neighbor got rid of whatever with these techniques. And even for what I have seen in the time that I have been working in this area, I have seen like literal miracles that
Yes.
people have done just by focusing in themselves, just by mantras and meditation, and
Yes.
convincing themselves that they are healthy beings. I have
Yes.
seen it.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully we're coming to a very nice understanding of this thing that
Yes.
has been, to us, there forever. Michelle,
Forever.
you are intuitive, so
Yes.
you get to, if, let's say, you walk into a bank or an office, can,
Mm-hmm.
if you are fully aware, if you are present, you are able to maybe detect issues
Absolutely.
that people are going through. How do you handle that? Do you keep quiet? Do you have a feeling of letting them know, or like, I need to tell you something? How is that?
I When I first started doing this, like when I first, I've always been intuitive, but when I really consciously decided, like, I'm going to wake this up
You
and
came out
allow
of the spiritual closet.
it. Yes, I did. I came out. And so I would walk in and I would just know things about all the people in the room. And that was very overwhelming. I felt like I was on 24/7. It's draining, right? And it's
Wow.
overtaxing. So I had to learn through working with my different chakras that I needed a boundary with that. So now I have a deal with myself and my intuition that when I go places, I'm not available to everybody. But if there is somebody there that needs something that I know or have that they would not get another way, I'm willing to be open to that. But it's a matter of privacy because and appropriateness. I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to just know everything about everybody all the time. That's an invasion of privacy, I believe. I don't want people to, I don't want the same thing, right?
Exactly.
And it's not my place to go up to somebody and say, "Oh, excuse me," right? But I have had situations where I'm in the grocery store or, out and because I am a medium, like I've had into situations where children that have passed away have come through for the mother that's in the grocery store, and like this is their only opportunity to get through to them to give them the message that the parent needs.
Wow.
So, but I always ask. I always say, I introduce myself, tell them a little bit about who I am, and then very respectfully ask if they're okay with me relaying the message or, because
Wow. That
it's
must be very rough.
it is. Well, it's very personal. It's very emotional. But like I said, so it's only for those very special times when it's like we got to do this.
And it feels like, for what you're telling me and the time I've known how you work, your ethics, it looks like it's a matter of like ninja discipline,
It is.
balancing what you know, what you are, what you have, and your ethics and your respect for other people. And as you say, their privacy,
Yes.
and balancing that with also service, which at the end, for what I see, is
Yes.
your whole mission is of service of others and helping, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I do what I do, because I have this ability to, see what's going on with people and to help them or to give messages to them from their loved ones. That's how, that's service. That's what I'm all about. But it's, the our intuition is for ourselves first and foremost, and then for everybody else after that, right? And it's not a cool party trick. It's not a cool party trick to be able to say, "Oh, who's this or that or what." It's personal and it's to be respected and and
Honored,
cared
I
for,
guess.
honored.
Yes,
Yes, thank you.
I see it as something very honorable, and the way I've seen you handle that is also very respectful.
I
Not
appreciate
like, as I like what you're saying, it's not a party trick. I love
it.
it.
Yeah,
And one more thing, because we are about to wrap up, and
absolutely.
you mentioned the capability of, being a medium, and that gift that has been given to you, the way I see it. In your opinion, what are they, where are they, what is that, the nature of the beings that you get to get in contact with? Are we all sharing the same physical space, and they are just in a different frequency, they can't see it? That's a question that is always in my mind, like, am I
Yes.
sharing physical space with beings that I'm not being able to register due to the limitations of my senses?
Yes, I believe because everything is energy. Their energy, just in a different form at a higher frequency, just like you said. So they are around us. And I don't think that they like my version of heaven and hell is different than some people's because I believe it's just like heaven is within us and hell is within us. We create it, right? So I haven't encountered a being that's passed away or that's in the spiritual realm that's like in a totally different dimension or anything like that. I've not experienced that. They're just all here with us, experiencing, doing their thing in their way, but it's all energy, so it's all around. And the thing that's important is, I want to say this again, we all have intuition. It's our personal GPS that we're born with, that's there to guide us, just like a GPS on our phone, right? We don't know where we're going. The GPS says in 10 feet turn right, in 100 yards take a left. That's what our internal GPS is for. It's to help guide us in life, to know what our next best choice is or the next best action, or what we want to do in life, how to find our joy. And I believe it's like those old-fashioned radio dials, where you have to tune it in. A lot of us, we're in the fuzz. We're in the But when we can tune in to that clear channel, that's when our intuition kicks in, right? So
Static.
we're all there. Yeah, we're all there on the radio dial, but we're either in static or we're tuned in. So practicing, and clearing the chakras and working with the chakras is a way to balance and really get our intuition for ourselves tuned in.
And we can all be intuitive. If we know how to, like, we all have the capability of developing intuition.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't believe that we have to learn it. We're born with it. We just have to remember it. We
Or
have
to
to literally.
learn what they have taught us about knowing.
Yes, yes. So it's like clearing the clutter. We just need to clear the clutter that makes it staticky.
Oh,
So, yeah,
thank you. Michelle, let's why don't you give us before we leave, give us from your heart and a couple
um,
words that could help whomever. You know what I believe? I believe this is just information that is reaching anybody that needs to reach, just to help them raise the level of consciousness and even have a you know a great 15 minutes from the time they hear this. What
absolutely.
is your message to that someone that is hearing us right now?
My message to everybody who's watching and needs this is that you can have the life of your dreams. You really can. It's within all of us to have this, to be joyful, to be happy beyond our, what we can dream or imagine. And it just takes awareness and focus and a willingness to move through this stuff and to find ways that work to help us move the energy and to get balanced. But we can all have the life of our dreams. We just have to trust that.
Thank
And
you.
it's within us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, where can our audience find you if they want to reach you? What do they need to do to find you?
Well, it's pretty simple. It's Michele with one L. So Michele, Snelling, SNE, two L's, ING. MichelleSnelling.com is my website. I'm on Instagram at Michele Snelling, Facebook Michele Snelling. So you can reach me there. And I would love to answer any questions that anybody has. So please, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me whatever questions you have.
Thank you, Michelle. To our
Thank
audience, again, thank you for being with us. And to Michelle, of course, thank you for allowing us being a channel for your knowledge, for your
thank you.
kind words. To the audience, thank you again for being with us. Don't leave without subscribing if you want to know more about these type of topics, without leaving us a like, or if you have someone that you know that can benefit of what we were talking today, send them the link and allow them to see it. Remember that you can collaborate with Mindalia with your own valuable content. We are a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness around the world. So if you want to collaborate with Mindalia, you can go to our website. On the top, you find a link says collaborate with Mindalia. That link takes you to a form that you can fill out. Our technical team will be getting in contact with you, and you can actually collaborate with us in English, in Spanish, or Portuguese. We live stream every day in Mindalia TV English, Mindalia Televisao, and Mindalia Televisión. Visit our different platforms and channels, Facebook pages, Instagram accounts, and follow us, because you help us reach as much people in the planet as possible, but you also keep yourself updated with the amazing information that we share there on a daily basis. Thank you again, Michelle. Sending you a very big hug. To our audience as well, from our heart, a great big hug full of light and love. And until next time.